Welcome to the Learning Corner, where today we delve into the topic silently affecting many of us: loneliness. But before we dig deeper into this universal human experience that isn't just about being physically alone, but more about feeling emotionally disconnected even when surrounded by others, take a moment to subscribe to my channel, comment, and share. We always say here, knowledge is power meant to be shared. The effects of this emotional state can widely vary, and it's a phenomenon we all encounter at some point. Today, we're going to explore the scientific and psychological aspects of loneliness and how it impacts our lives. So, stay tuned. Loneliness can leave a deeper scar than we might realize. It's more than just a transient feeling of isolation or a fleeting notion of being cut off from the world. Loneliness, in its chronic form, can have profound implications for both our physical and mental health. It's a silent epidemic that's sweeping across our society, often unnoticed. Let's delve into the science of it. According to numerous studies, loneliness has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease. Just like how our bodies react to physical pain, our emotional response to loneliness can trigger stress responses that affect our heart health. It's like a silent alarm constantly ringing, causing our heart to work harder than it should. But it's not just our hearts that bear the brunt. Our mental health is equally vulnerable. Loneliness has been found to be a significant factor in conditions such as depression and anxiety. When we're lonely, our brains are in a heightened state of alert, always on the lookout for threats, real or perceived. This constant state of vigilance can lead to an increased risk of developing mental health disorders. What's more, loneliness can lead to a decrease in one's lifespan, similar to the impact of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's a startling comparison, but it underscores the gravity of the situation. Loneliness isn't just about feeling sad or isolated. It's a public health concern that needs our attention. Perhaps most concerning is the cyclical nature of loneliness. The more lonely we feel, the more we tend to withdraw from society, exacerbating our feelings of isolation and perpetuating a vicious cycle that can be difficult to break. As you can see, loneliness is not just an emotional state, but a condition that can have serious health implications. It's a silent epidemic that we need to address for the sake of our collective well-being. But how do you know if you're suffering from loneliness? This question might seem simple, but in reality, it's a complex issue that requires introspection and self-awareness. Loneliness, much like the common cold, has its own symptoms. It's not always about being physically alone. Instead, it's a deep-seated feeling of being disconnected, misunderstood, or out of sync with the world around you. You could be in a room full of people and still feel lonely. It's a state of mind, a feeling that can creep up on you even in the most crowded of places. One of the most apparent signs of loneliness is a sense of isolation. You might feel as though you're trapped in your own bubble, watching the world go by but feeling unable to participate. It's like being a spectator in your own life, disconnected and disengaged. Another symptom is dissatisfaction with your personal relationships. You might feel as though your relationships lack depth or sincerity, or you may constantly yearn for more meaningful connections. Even when surrounded by friends and family, you might still feel a void, a sense of emptiness that these relationships are not filling. Then there's the constant feeling of being misunderstood. You might feel as though no one truly understands you or appreciates your thoughts and feelings. This could lead to a sense of disconnection, of not being seen or heard. It's as if you're speaking a different language that nobody else seems to comprehend. It's crucial to not dismiss these feelings as mere mood swings or phases. They're signs of a deeper issue: loneliness. Recognizing these symptoms in yourself is not a sign of weakness but strength. It's an act of self-awareness, of acknowledging your feelings and taking control of your mental health. So if you find yourself feeling isolated, dissatisfied with your relationships, or constantly misunderstood, don't brush these feelings under the rug. Take a moment to reflect, to understand your feelings, and to acknowledge your loneliness. Identifying loneliness in yourself is the first step towards addressing it. Remember, it's okay to feel lonely. What's important is recognizing it, understanding it, and taking steps to overcome it. So, what can you do if you find yourself trapped in the clutches of loneliness? Firstly, it's crucial to understand that loneliness, in its essence, is a signal from your mind, just like hunger or thirst. It's your brain's way of telling you that you're lacking something vital: social connection. So let's talk about some practical steps you can take to alleviate loneliness. One of the most effective steps towards combating loneliness is to form and maintain meaningful relationships. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to surround yourself with a flock of friends. It's about quality, not quantity. One or two genuine deep connections can be far more fulfilling than a dozen superficial ones. Reach out to people, engage in meaningful conversations, show interest in others, and be open to forming new relationships. Next, find hobbies or activities that you genuinely enjoy. This can be anything that makes you lose track of time, from painting to hiking, reading to gardening. Such activities not only keep you engaged, but also provide you with a sense of achievement and purpose. Plus, hobbies often lead to social opportunities, allowing you to meet like-minded individuals. If you find that loneliness persists despite your efforts, it's perfectly okay to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate through feelings of loneliness, providing you with tools and strategies to cope. Sometimes, talking to a professional can provide a fresh perspective and open avenues for personal growth that you might have overlooked. Lastly, practicing self-care and mindfulness can help combat feelings of loneliness. Self-care isn't just about bubble baths and spa days, it's about taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep can significantly influence your mood and energy levels. Mindfulness, on the other hand, helps you to stay present and connected with yourself, reducing feelings of loneliness by fostering self-compassion and acceptance. In conclusion, remember that it's perfectly normal to feel lonely from time to time. However, if loneliness becomes persistent, it's essential to take proactive steps towards addressing it. Form meaningful relationships, engage in activities you love, seek professional help if needed, and practice self-care and mindfulness. Remember, it's perfectly okay to seek help when you're feeling lonely. You're not alone in this. Let's quickly recap what we've discussed today. We've delved into the complex world of loneliness, a feeling that can be as confounding as it is common. It's a universal human experience that can touch us all, regardless of age, background, or circumstance. Yet its impact is far from trivial. Our exploration began with a look at the effects of loneliness. We learned that it's not just an emotional state, but can have profound physical implications as well. From increased risk of heart disease to weakened immune systems, it's clear that loneliness is more than a passing mood. It's a serious health concern that deserves our attention. Next, we examined how to recognize the signs of loneliness. Sometimes it's as obvious as an empty room or a silent phone. Other times, it's hidden beneath the surface of a busy life or a crowded room. Recognizing that loneliness isn't just about being alone, but also about feeling alone, is a crucial first step toward addressing it. Finally, we discussed tangible ways to combat loneliness. We learned that it's not about filling every moment with company or noise, but about seeking meaningful connections and activities that give us a sense of purpose. We also explored the importance of self-care, from physical exercise to mindfulness practices, as part of a holistic approach to combating loneliness. In conclusion, loneliness is a complex issue with many layers. It's not something to be ashamed of, nor is it something to be taken lightly. But the good news is, it's not a life sentence either. With awareness, understanding, and proactive steps, we can navigate our way out of loneliness and towards a healthier, more connected life. Remember, loneliness is a common human experience, but with understanding and the right approach, it is something that you can overcome. Thank you for watching, and remember to take care of yourself.